I don't always do group builds, but when I do, they're awfully cool. That's 70s build. So, here's my entry into Tactical Jackalopes, and I think Adam Mann's That 70s group build. This particular tank right here, the Leopard 1 from Tamiya, issued in 1975, was the very first Tamiya kit I ever built. And it would have been somewhere in the time frame between 76 and 78. I'm thinking probably closer to 76. I remember my mom brought it home for me. At the time we lived in a scabby little town, rural town, and somebody came in and put a model shop in, put a hobby shop in. It was awesome. And she brought this home for me. Remember I was sick home from school with bronchitis. It was $19.98 Canadian way back when. So that's probably close to about $40 now, 40-50 bucks. So anyway, there we have it. This is going to be my entry into That 70s group build. Very cool, great idea. Box stock Tamiya kit from the 70s. I think he's up to 85. So anyway, enough of me blathering. Let's pop her open and take a look at her. So we popped the top off. Typical Tamiya. It's got the cutouts for the remote control drives on the sides and the bottom. Very reminiscent. The hub, or the turret, the hull. Directions in Japanese and English. And just a couple sprues. And of course, single length rubber band tracks. But you know what? For this kit, that's all you need. Let's roll, boys. So very classic. This one on Tamiya, we actually start with the back hull, then we do the wheels. We get the wheels on, we get the turret built. It's not super detailed. It shouldn't take that long to build. In fact, I'd be surprised if I don't have this pretty much done by the end of the hockey game that I'm going to watch or listen to later on tonight. I think the Oilers are playing Philly. Could be mistaken. If you hear explosions in the background, that's my boy playing his new PS4 Black Ops 3. Is that right? So anyway, yeah, we'll get going on this here. I want to have this the hull at least ready to roll tonight, and like that. Oh yeah, Pittsburgh. Oilers are playing Pittsburgh. Even better. Oh, Detroit are, and then Pittsburgh's playing the Flames tomorrow. And then, Philadelphia's moved on to Winnipeg. Okay, that's where they're at. Anyway, enough hockey talk. We've got a whole bunch. I've done a couple videos today. I've done actually today. I've done more today on my YouTube and model channel than I have done in the last 6 months. So this is fun. So all these holes we just filled with some epoxy sculpt. Works like a damn. You know, it ain't pretty. It doesn't have to be because you're not going to see any of this. But I just wanted to have all these filled up. And just a little bit of plastic card on there. Press her down so she's nice and level. Boom, Bob's your uncle. She's good as gold. Same thing under here. Cut those cutouts. Just filled that side with A&B putty. I went and put some plastic card on that side. It would have been just as easy to do with an A&B putty. Epoxy sculpt. I really like epoxy sculpt. I would, if you guys haven't gotten any of that, I'd highly recommend you getting some of that. I did a video a while ago on epoxy sculpt, so where I bought it and where I got it from. I found a Canadian distributor for it. It's pretty simple, guys. Just a little bit of water, a little bit of spit. The levels are right out. Boom. Like I say, this doesn't have to be super clean and super cool under here. Just get the just get it so that the damn there's no light going through. That's all you really need to do. Yeah, that's plenty good. Doesn't look pretty. Doesn't have to be pretty. It just needs to be filled. So, running gears all done on the driver's side. Just got the big long piece of plastic rod for the main idler wheels. It's coming right along. What a great kit. Okay, running gear's pretty much all done. Piece of piss. Just went together like crazy. Get to watch some of these little poly caps. Specific poly caps for the first and last tire in each one slightly different because they hook up onto a trailing arm that you add on. Other than that, it's just very steady. But a cool kit. Okay, the lower is pretty much complete. Just need tracks. I'll paint it first, throw the tracks on, we'll be golden. The turret. 4 main pieces: upper hull, lower hull, front sponson, and the gun mount. And then of course 105mm barrels, just an old school 2-piece. Knock her out of the park shortly. We're gonna add a little bit of texture to this because this was a cast turret. Remember, guys, it was cast, so the German cast was pretty smooth, but we still need to have a few grind marks and a little bit of texture, which we will add right chickenly. Now what we're going to do is add some texture to this cast turret. Guys, if you don't have one of these cordless Dremels, go get one. This is the model 7300. I think I paid about $49, anywhere from, I don't know, 50 to 65 Canadian. It was a new battery. I needed a new battery for my old one. A new battery was $40. So yeah, go get yourself one of these. Put in a medium to small ball end on it. Kick her over to low. And what you want to do is just start bouncing it. Just like this. And where there may have been some... Now remember, this is just in areas where there may be a little bit of slag and grind marks. You don't want to get really carried away on these turrets, especially on a modern cast turret, because they weren't cast in a rush. They were cast in peacetime, so you want to go easy on the amount of texture that you put in here. Now if this was a World War II production tank, like say an IS-2 or IS-3 or something like that, or a Sherman, you can really beat the hell out of them. I've looked at a couple of late war Shermans down at the local museum, and their turrets are just, they're a mess. And there's lots of grind marks on them, there's lots of heavy weld marks on them, but remember, that is in the middle of the war. They had to manufacture as many of those as they could. So there's lots of different techniques. You just ride the ball under it and just go back and forth. You can tap it. You can go around like this. The big thing is to just give it a little bit of texture. You don't need to get carried away, but just give it a little bit more than Tamiya gives you. Now this isn't for a 1975 kit. You know, actually pretty good. Now that's all I'm going to do to there. Now what you want to do is scrub it down, not necessarily with the sandpaper, but I'm just using this as this is a nail buffer, using the red, which is the coarse, just getting off any of the loose stuff. Now we're going to go around and do that to the whole turret. Okay, now what we're going to do to add a little more texture, we're going to use some, this is Mr. Surfacer 500. This is probably 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, so it's gotten a little bit thick. So I've added just a little bit of lacquer thinner and a little bit of Tamiya surface primer to it to thin it down a bit. A little thicker is going to give you a really heavy texture, and a little thinner is going to give you a slightly leaner texture. So as you can see, that's really quite coarse there, and that would be fine for maybe a Soviet World War II, but we want to get something a little bit more of that, a little softer, not quite as heavy texture going on here. Now I'm just going to do a little bit here because I want to I want to get all the grab handles in on it. And this is the one thing you're going to do after you've got all of your grab handles and things on, so that you can make it look like it's actually they're welded in. And instead of having to worry about using any putty, you'll just use this stuff, and it'll fill any little holes around your grab handles and whatnot. So we've just got this started here. You can use this. I use this technique on everything. And the big thing is, if it's too rough, well, all you have to do is take a little bit of sandpaper and knock it back a bit. So let me get the grab handles in and all that kind of stuff on, then we'll carry on with this.